Welcome everybody to a special episode of What's NXT. This is going to be a rated R review of NXT TakeOver Phoenix. I am, of course, the rated R reviewer Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General Jerry Slaughter.
Good evening, wrestling fans.
And tonight our special guest is making his debut on What's NXT. We've got Colin Andrew on the big screen. How you doing, Colin?
I'm good, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, splendid.
Doing great, because I got to watch NXT TakeOver.
Absolutely.
And they never disappoint. For me, this was an A- all the way. Every match was good. Not every match was great or super great or nothing like that, but every match was good, and most of them were fucking great matches. And left you with a cliffhanger at the end. I'm calling it an A-, definitely. Great pay-per-view. What about you, Colin?
Overall, awesome. Starting out the way it was, the high pops, everything. It was everything I expected, but not more. I'm going to give it an A- as well. Solid show. They deliver as always. Very, very pleased with.
Very well said. But everything I expected, but nothing more. I don't think I could say it better than that, actually. What about you, Jerry? Can you say it better than that?
Not really. Pretty much with NXT takeovers in general, it's kind of like in Kill Bill Volume 2 when they're talking about Hattori Hanzo swords. But NXT takeovers, you really don't say it's like, which NXT takeover is better. You just rate those against the regular WWE products or any other show that's not a takeover. So with this one, yes, it was a great culmination to a lot of the feuds. We got 4.5 star matches out of each of them, I believe. So yeah, an A- show for this one. But yeah, it is everything I hoped for. But as usual, I kind of struck out a lot with the predictions. But I wasn't disappointed in any way, shape, or form.
Now we will get into the show briefly because we've got all 5 matches, plus we've got the kickoff to talk about. And the kickoff is actually worth talking about because they actually announced the winners of the year-end awards for NXT.
That we waited 2 hours for that last time and never got.
But first I want to go ahead and plug What's NXT for next week. It should come out on Thursday, and then we'll have the NXT party on Friday for episode number 28 of NXT UK. And Colin Andrew should be up on the big screen again then, hopefully with a proper British nickname. And
we'll think of something.
We might get somebody to stick up there with him just so we can have some more commentary, because it's supposed to be a really good show. I mean, we're getting the debut of Walter.
I'm very excited for that.
So that's going to be fun.
That tag match is going to be bananas.
So yeah, I want to mention the elephant in the room. I hate to disappoint everybody that it's not Jeff Meacham on the big screen for the review tonight. He couldn't make it. Just, scheduling difficulties, so at the last minute we were like, hey, what better time to debut our upcoming NXT party guest than tonight? So, let's get into, we've got 7 of the year-end awards that we're going to...
That were announced on TV. There's some still over on WWE.com as well, I believe.
But the ones we're going to get to talk about tonight are Breakout Star of the Year, Ricochet. No surprise there. Did this surprise you? Match of the year, we got Gargano versus Almas, which actually kind of surprised me.
Oh, yeah.
Although it was a great match, it did kind of surprise me that won match of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Male Superstar of the Year, Tommaso Ciampa. I was surprised by this. He comes out to accept his award, and he looks at his belt, and he looks at the gold belt. And he looks at his belt, and he's happy, and he looks at the gold belt, and he's not. Or the gold belt, and so he hands the award back to... whoever it was.
Because once you're champion, you pretty much, you don't even have to worry about that kind of accolade in any way, shape, or form. That's the only accolade he needs is that belt.
What'd you think about this, Colin? I love this dude. Ciampa is he's so good at this.
He's becoming the best heel I've seen in a long time, besides when The Miz is The Miz.
Yes.
He has taken such pride in his character. And it's awesome. It's paying off for him. Look at him now. And he's doing it right.
Yes, he is.
He's doing it right. That's all I can say.
So next we had Female Superstar of the Year, and here's the start of my pain with all this.
Yeah.
Kairi Sane. which is not bad in and of itself. She was champ for the shortest amount of time of any female champions, but whatever.
Yeah.
She was just the meat in the sandwich of Shayna Baszler's 2 reigns.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it was a feel-good moment, so she got that out of it. So whatever. I'm sure fans are fine. In droves, they come out for her to vote at least.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But she also got overall Superstar of the Year. And I'm like, if she was going to win that award, wouldn't you give Female Superstar of the Year to second place?
Yeah.
Because
even then, I don't even see her as the overall competitor of the year, in her matches, let alone for the year. So for her to win that award, that still trips me up, and I don't think it's that well deserved. It's no offense to her. Actually, it's a whole bunch of offense to her, but yeah, I don't think so. Colin, what are your takes on Kairi being overall performer of the year?
I mean, she's good. Like you said, she had the shortest reign as champion, and there were so many better people in NXT who deserve that spot for competitor of the year. It's kind of a real big shocker, and especially for her to have the 2.
Yeah.
I just it's one or the other, and honestly, I could see more of the female competitor of the year instead of overall.
Well,
look at all the other.
It's done by votes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is.
So honor the fact that she got more votes than anybody else overall for Superstar of the Year. Give her that, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's just too much. Either have men's and women's, or have overall Superstar of the Year, but not men's and women's.
Yeah.
And let her have it. That's fine. But 2 is 2.
Yeah.
It's I would say then technically this, because it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do what you can. I guess they probably didn't expect that kind of outcome. Other than that, we got Tag Team of the Year in Undisputed Era. We had Bobby Fish come out to accept the award and talk some smack to the announcers. And me and Jerry had fun with this. Jerry way more than me.
Yes. Well, let me get this out of the way right now. Sam Roberts and Pat McAfee, they need to be commentators on NXT. They need to bounce Percy and Nigel off of there and just put those 2 in that spot. Because they're just entertaining me from start to finish during that opening. And yeah, just the interaction between Fish and McAfee was just fantastic. And anytime McAfee would try to talk,
Right.
Fish would just hit the bell. What was that, Colin?
I was just saying, right? Them just going back and forth is amazing. It's refreshing.
Oh yeah.
And so we also got, I guess from the website, Rising Star of the Year.
Yep, Io Shirai. Which I can kind of see that because
She's new, and it actually makes sense to have her be Rising Star of the Year.
Yeah.
She's coming in with a lot of momentum and a lot of wins. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the tag match, in the dark match that we're going to see next week on NXT.
We're going to touch on that in a little bit.
I'm sure we could look up the spoilers. They're out there, but I don't want to. So let's move on to NXT TakeOver Phoenix.
Yes.
Because we've got 5 incredible matches, and we start off with the War Raiders versus Undisputed Era for the Tag Team Championships.
Superb match. I called that they're going to start with the Tag Team Championship, and I'm glad they did because the match was so back and forth and so brutal and just so physical. There was not really many times that you could really take your eyes off the screen because Hanson would be doing something super athletic that you wouldn't expect out of a guy his size. You see Rowe just pulling these magnificent feats of strength, just chucking O'Reilly and Strong just everywhere. And but then at the same time, Strong, he nailed 5 or 6 different variations of a backbreaker throughout the match, and
Right.
He's just the king of the messiah of the backbreaker.
Now,
So
we see early on when they come out, Undisputed Era's got Bobby Fish with them, and he's holding the Tag Team of the Year trophy. And I think at this point, Bobby Fish seems more like a trophy case, like a walking trophy case, because he was always holding the Dusty Rhodes Classic trophy. Now he's holding that one. Doesn't have a belt of his own.
Well,
At least he doesn't have the crutches anymore.
Well, they're always saying that they want all the gold, and well, he can hold all the gold he wants. It's usually awards.
Well, at the end of this match, he is the only one left holding gold. And I'm really glad that these first two matches happened the way they did, because they were the two matches to make you sweat, sir.
Yes.
Because he called for an Undisputed Era retention, and that is not what happened. I said, this is the second match. There is no way Undisputed Era wins clean again. War Raiders are taking the gold. They took the gold. What did you think about this match, Colin?
I thought it was awesome from the get-go with War Raiders intro. That was dope.
That's a little right there.
You know, that was a good energy to rip off the night with, you know, and Rowe and Hansen, their dominance is unreal. Just throwing those guys around the double stack power bomb, like, just those guys are unstoppable. I predicted in my predictions video I did, War Raiders would win the titles, and you could tell by the energy of the night, the way they came down, the special entrance, etc. Like, you just Undisputed Era, their time is just, it's come. I for some reason see them splitting apart, splitting off, doing something, maybe something going up to the main roster. Just something's going to happen with those four gentlemen soon. And especially Bobby Fish carrying around the two trophies and bell. But for them, you know, for them to pick up the win was awesome. I thought it was a great match. It's a great way to kick off the pay-per-view, just like when they kicked off UK pay-per-view with the tag match. Just tag matches are a way to set the energy for the night anymore.
Especially when it's for the titles, because there's a lot of near falls.
Yes.
Near falls. What about you, Jerry?
Yes.
Well, I've already said my piece on it, like at the beginning there, but at the same time, like the whole energy of the crowd, they're already like chanting "Fight Forever," and like that's what I love about the crowds there. They tend to be super vocal, and Mauro Ranallo's like commentating throughout the entire thing. Throughout the entire broadcast is always like A+ anyway. So what was really cool with me was naturally the Hansen specials, more or less. We saw a lot of him, like a lot of his, like a suicide dive out of him is just great to watch.
Especially when he misses.
Oh, when he missed!
Right?
Oh my God!
This takes him out of the match. There's a lot of spots in this.
Yeah.
There's a point where Rowe body slams Hansen off of the apron onto both of the Undisputed Era on the outside. That was crazy. We got Rowe does this gut wrench power bomb onto Strong, and O'Reilly happens to be there, so he just throws him into O'Reilly.
Yep.
It's fucking nuts. And then that's where after that Hansen goes for that tope suicida, and he misses on the outside, and he's gone for a while. And for a while, Rowe, I mean, he handles business, but eventually we get Hansen back. I think it was a hot tag.
Yep.
We had Rowe do a pop-up into a power slam onto O'Reilly into Hansen, and then runs outside for a tope suicida to Strong on the outside, like crazy. Then we actually had Strong do a superplex onto Hansen, which looked impossible, but he pulled off, and then O'Reilly comes off the top rope with this diving knee near fall, probably the closest near fall they got in this match.
Yep.
And then Strong finally nails that backbreaker on the apron that they tried to do during the last match, that botched into the mat on the floor. Let's see, and then we had a double elbow and then an Olympic slam onto Hansen. He kicks out. Then they do a high-low, and he kicks out again. They go for another high-low, went to the well one too many times. He does this cartwheel away from it, and then a handspring double elbow takes them both out. And then that's where we get the famous Rowe double stack, where he does a power slam and a power bomb onto both guys at the same time. And then they do their War Raiders finisher, that belly to back drop with Hansen coming off the top rope with a leg drop across the neck. 1, 2, 3. War Raiders take the titles, as I predicted. And I'm going to get to say that a lot tonight.
Me too.
I'm riding into this 5 for 5. So if you watched and you remembered the predictions video and you remember my predictions, then you know how all of this is going to unfold. So sorry to spoil it for that one person out there.
I'm riding 4 for 5. So
up next we've got Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno. And this was actually a better match than even I thought it was going to be.
That's why I said that's why I said the event didn't disappoint. Because I thought if anything was going to kill the show in any way, shape, or form, it was going to be Riddle versus Ono. Because, okay, we've seen these guys wrestle. We're going to say wrestle twice. You know, the first match was 7 seconds long, and the second match was another Ono loss. But the beatdown afterwards set this one in motion. But you got to see a lot more fierceness out of Riddle this time around. It's almost like frustration. Because the only person he's really faced, I think there's one other ham and egger he faced in one of his first matches, but otherwise it's just been Ono. So, hopefully this puts a little bit of closure on it. I'm thinking it will. But the match itself was pretty brilliant front to back.
Well, Matt Riddle is acting pissed.
Yeah.
He is pissed. He is just beating up on Ono in any way that he can get his hands on him. But this plays into the psychology of the match. There, I used it, psychology. This plays into the psychology of the match because when Matt Riddle is so pissed off and not as focused, that's when Cassius Ono can take over in the match.
That's veteran stuff right there.
Yeah, just abuse, just a slip up or a slight mistake, something like that. What do you think about this match, Colin?
Cassius Oto, as we should bring up. I thought it was a lot better match than I expected. I was expecting, honestly, something sloppy from just the way things have been kind of going with them.
Mm-hmm.
They really impressed me, though. The one knee to the face by Ono to Riddle, really threw me for a loop. I'm like, how is he even conscious right now?
Or that back elbow that they played up as almost accidental that left Matt just laid out.
Yes.
And Ono was super surprised. He's like, maybe I should pin him.
Yep.
Near fall.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I liked the fact that Ono took into the play that Riddle was barefoot. And you try to utilize the joints of that. But the whole biting of the toe thing,
he bit his toe.
What is that?
I thought he was going to go for more of a Pete Dunne move, like toe cracking.
Yeah,
but no, stuck his big toe and just bit his big toe. And when I say that, I don't mean took a little. No, all of it in his mouth.
Well, for what
teeth
felt
to
like
the knuckle.
It was only maybe a 2 or 3 second bite, but it felt like it went on forever.
Which I guess is fitting because earlier in the match there was a spot where Cassius stomped at Riddle's face, and they showed a slow-mo of this where he just stepped through his face into his mouth, and Matt Riddle was tasting his boot.
Yeah.
And this was, you could tell it was a botch because afterwards Riddle is bleeding out of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I guess you taste my feet now, basically. Here, bite my toe, bitch. Call for that during the middle of the match. Yeah, go for it. But the no boots thing works out later in the match because Cassius Ono gets a foot stomp that just, he grinds it.
Yep.
Grinds it in, and Matt Riddle is selling that pain. Like anybody that's maybe slammed their toe into the corner of a wall.
That night you're kind of walking around in the middle of the night trying to get to the bathroom or something, hit your foot on the corner of the door or some crap. Yeah.
But yeah, this match was better and actually more fun than I thought it was going to be. I mean, from the beginning, you've got Matt Riddle attacking Cassius Ono outside because he's just pissed.
Yeah.
This match starts as a brawl, and that makes sense. We had Riddle just performing these acts of feet. He does a deadlift German suplex. He goes for one, and that's where we got the stomp. But then he goes for it again on a seemingly one foot. But gets the deadlift German into a bridge and a near fall on one leg.
Yeah, I was about to say, his other leg was up, which I thought was that actually impressed me a lot, is the amount of balance that went into that.
But just all these knees, man, these so many high knees, and it's probably the one you were talking about, Colin, and then Ono hits that high knee and a sit-out powerbomb that looked like it should have been the ending of the match, but Riddle kicks out. Ono goes for a moonsault, lands it, not square, not completely on him. He more got his head and his arms on him, but there's a near fall. And then he goes for those running sentons, and this is where Matt Riddle again catches him. This time, instead of a bro lock or a bro mission, he just gets him in a rear naked, but Ono makes it to the ropes. And now
Would you call the rear barefoot?
Yeah, the rear barefoot. So this is where Ono turns up the heel. He's begging off. All right, you've shown me, blah, blah, blah. Don't hurt me. Goes for the fist bump. And Riddle, of course, wants nothing to do with the fist bump. So he grabs him and then pulls him into a knee to the face. And then a sleeper suplex.
It
looked like it broke Cassius Ohno's neck.
Like, I haven't seen a sleeper suplex since, like, No Mercy on my Nintendo 64. I mean, like, to actually see it and pull it off that seamlessly was just great.
Like I said, looked like it broke Cassius Ohno's neck. And then he goes he goes for the bro mission, but Cassius starts fighting out, so he just starts hitting him with elbows and forearms.
Yeah.
And gets Cassius Ohno to tap out, not from a submission, but from the strikes.
Yep.
That was different. I've never seen that before.
I haven't seen anything like that since Ken Shamrock's Ultimate Fighting Punches, where people would have to tap out from that. But the strikes, I saw Bryan Danielson do a lot to set up for the cattle mutilation Ring of Honor. But otherwise, yeah, I've never seen that done actually in WWE or NXT. So,
very interesting.
Colin, what did you think about the finish?
I thought it was awesome. It's something we haven't seen in a long time, if ever, in NXT. And it really, for me, got the feud over with, I think. It's 3 straight boom, boom, boom. I thought it was awesome, though. I really did. I mean, the sleeper suplex, I agree, almost totally wrecked Ohno's head. I felt for him in that moment.
Yeah,
but
there's a reason they don't do that move.
Yeah,
because there's no protecting yourself.
I was happy with the ending, and I was happy that I was 2 for 2 at this point. So,
absolutely, again, called it.
I was the only one rooting for Ono, so Aaron, I'm one of the idiots.
At this point, Jerry's at 0, and it's fun, but. But up next, we have arguably match of the night. We've got Johnny Gargano versus Ricochet for the NXT North American Championship.
Was there any doubt this was going to be match of the night, though?
I mean,
it's Johnny freaking wrestling.
Ciampa and Black put on a pretty damn good fucking match.
Yes, they did.
They did.
They put on a pretty good match. But for me, Gargano and Ricochet stole the show.
I have no notes for this match up until the end. I wanted to put down how the match finished. But otherwise, I sat back and enjoyed this match.
This is one of those matches you couldn't really take notes during, because if you look down at your notebook for like even 5 seconds, you're like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. So my only note for everybody out there in the No DQ galaxy is watch the match.
Yes.
Watch the match.
Absolutely. Drop everything you're doing after this video and go watch it.
If you watch none of the rest of the NXT pay-per-view, watch the match. Watch the highlights. Watch whatever you can. Definitely an awesome match.
If you're going to watch the highlights, you might as well watch the entire damn match.
We've gotten other people to subscribe to the WWE Network before. We'll continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's $9.99. Your first month's free. If you subscribe now, you get both the Royal Rumble and you get Elimination Chamber. Just saying. So, watch that match. Johnny Gargano, awesome. Ricochet, awesome. The match, awesome. The finish, awesome.
The amount of reversals that they were doing in this match, it seemed like they had been wrestling each other for years. Like, it was very much like Steamboat versus Flair, or Ultimo Dragon versus Chris Jericho. These guys knew each other, like, move for move, what they were going to do. And it was like ballet. It was like wrestling ballet.
Some incredible moves.
Oh, absolutely. It was spot on. Everything I expected and more out of these two. Johnny wrestling, Ricochet, 2 of the most technical high spot guys together in one ring. It was everything I wanted and more. The spot where Gargano goes and pulls up the outside padding, the mat from the ring, exposes it. I got real anxious at that point. I was getting flashbacks to Gargano and Ciampa from NXT. I don't remember which one it was last year, but I believe it was the unsanctioned match.
Yep.
It was definitely something that I've been wanting to see, and the build for it was excellent.
I was about to say Drake actually talked him out of like spiking him on.
Yeah, he kind of gave him that look like, look, if you do this, man, it's like over. You know.
You don't want to win like this, more or less.
Yeah.
He's like if you're gonna do this, there's a good chance you're gonna get disqualified. So
But then we get Ricochet delivering a brain buster onto the exposed floor.
Yeah.
So, but that's okay.
I don't know. I think it's a little different since he didn't pull it up. You know.
Yeah, but he still took advantage of it. He could have done it on the double padded part.
True. I don't know.
You know, there was a table right there. That would have been, you know, a high spot that everybody would cheer for. Baby faces put people through tables too.
Yep.
It happens.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my only note is watch this match. Other than that, it ends with a Gargano brain buster to the exposed floor. Oh, so no, Gargano does benefit from it. My bad. Anyway, he throws him in, does a slingshot DDT, and pins him.
No. Well, before that, we even had the reverse Hurricane Rana on the other side.
Oh yeah.
But because that's what really set it up is the fact that he gave him that reverse Hurricane Rana and then slingshot DDT on the inside.
Well, I just grabbed the end of the match.
Yeah, but that reverse Hurricane Rana just left Ricochet laying in a pyramid foot pose, more or less. So that was just nuts. Like I was kind of sad to see Ricochet lose because like he's been a great champion and all, but at the same time I wanted Gargano to win. This needed to happen, and for him to get a singles title and a little bit of redemption from losing it to takeovers.
Yeah, finally getting a singles title.
He finally got the singles title, so kudos to you, Gargano. Kudos to you, Ricochet. Kudos to everybody. That match was just phenomenal.
Yeah, totally. Too bad we're not rating that for the main event. Although the main event was great in itself.
Well, you always say that if we're having a really shitty main event, and we did not have a shitty main event.
Far from it. But before we get to that match, we've got Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. This match delivered as well. Great fucking match.
Well, the really cool thing about this is at the beginning of or during the pre-show, Sam Roberts actually did something that we don't really hear very often.
He fucking shit on Bianca Belair.
He buried Belair.
He stood up, he took down his pants, and he shit all over Bianca Belair. He basically called her not NXT TakeOver worthy.
Yeah, he doesn't see her as the caliber of the champions that they've had at NXT so far. And like the other announcers just kind of looked at him like.
They didn't call him out on it though. Like
no.
I'm kind of surprised he was allowed to say that.
He even said like, just tell me I'm wrong. You know.
Now look, if Bianca Belair would have taken the championship tonight, that it would be different because then he'd have to eat crow. But no, he was right. Like, but not he wasn't completely right because Bianca Belair put on a hell of a show, and they made her look awesome and super strong.
Yes.
I mean, there was a time when she broke out of the Baszler lock that she turned into something. I can't remember. I'm sure it's in my notes. But there at the end, she almost broke out of that. She stood up out of that like 2 or 3 times, but eventually succumbed and she passed out. Didn't even tap. We knew this was going to happen.
Well, the other story we have with this is the fact that with Belair looking great, it almost kind of made Baszler look weak when Shafir and Duke came out. Like we were having a great match, and granted we should have expected them to come out, but at the same time, they came out and we're like, really? Okay, this is how the match is gonna end, but it didn't end that way. Like you said, she like fought her way out like 2 different submissions and suplexed her way out of one. That was the other one because she actually was able to turn Shayna Baszler completely around her and then suplex her for her to let go of the lock. So, but Shafir was wearing a mask, so we automatically assumed that during one of those dark matches, she got fucked up. So I can't wait to see what happened there. But, Colin,
I just want to start with that hair whip.
Oh shit! She broke the skin.
Yeah, that nice gash.
Yeah, her wig drew blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wicked.
I cut you.
No, I thought it was a great match. I mean,
It did turn into a bull rope match there for a second.
It did. That was it was like snap, crackle, and pop. Like it was just echoing. Unfortunately, she lost to 3 people. Pretty much. But I didn't feel it was her time yet for the title. I think Baszler's going to hang on to it until around Mania.
Yep.
They go before, and then maybe around Mania or the night after, build into some storyline on the main roster. But we'll get into that at a later date. I thought it was an excellent match, though. The 2 women put on a hell of a performance. When she broke out of the Baszler lock, it was just. What did she pull into? Like a
deadlift a deadlift vertical suplex.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That was
completely deadlifted
impressive.
her out of the submission.
Yep.
It was nuts. Like she moved her from back to front and then grabbed her up and pulled her into it.
That's right.
Wicked strength.
And Belair's energy was just through the roof tonight. Like you could just really feel it coming off of her tonight. Like tonight, it wasn't her night for the title, but in the way she shined in that match.
She actually, Stefan and I talked about this for a little bit. She's gotten smarter in the ring also, because, the second she started, developing any offense or whatnot, her shoulder was already messed up from earlier into the match. And she would use that for any kind of striking or whatnot, since it was already hurt, and use her other arm for more strength-type maneuvers.
When she went for the spear, she landed it left arm.
Yes.
Left shoulder. Which is probably what she would normally... Oh, maybe not.
It's all going with the angle she was coming from.
But yeah, anything she did with strength, she did with her right arm, her good arm.
Yep.
So she saved that for anything that she's got to pick her up for, like that vertical suplex. It was just... I think that's a much better show of her strength than all of those gorilla press slams that she nearly botches. I'm going to break down this match because this match put on a very good story.
Good clinic.
So Baszler gets the upper hand fairly early on. She throws Bianca around, over the mat and around to the other side of the ring post, but uses her hair. Pulls her shoulder into the ring post. So this is where she starts working on her arm, and she does her own Baszler stomp, that elbow stomp with the arm all twerked.
Yep.
Inverted.
Yes.
I call it the inverted Baszler stomp on the elbow, and she just starts working over Bianca Belair's arm. And this is telling the story because Bianca Belair now has to overcome having one arm.
Yep.
And eventually, Shayna thinks that, she's got this match, and she starts yelling at Belair, and she tells her she's overrated. And this is where she fires up, and she bitch slaps the hell out of fucking Shayna Baszler. And then, let's see. This is where she gets a bunch of offense, a lot of strikes, again with her bad arm. And then she gets that spear for a near fall. And then Baszler gets the upper hand with one of those enziguri knees, that running enziguri knee that's just brutal looking. She gets a near fall. And then while Belair's on the mat and Shayna's approaching, that's where we get the hair whip. And this doubles over Shayna, and you're like, oh, come on. But then the camera shows it, and yeah, there's a stripe on her side.
I actually screamed out like she broke her skin. Stefan's like, really? And sure enough, they zoom in, and sure enough, good God.
And now we get the ref bump. And this is apparently the very first female ref bump in WWE history.
Thank you, Cindy G.
Jessica was, of course, the official for this match. It's a women's title match. And she got her first bump on, at least on NXT pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's had one on NXT TV, so I think this is legitimately the first. So congrats to her. And this is
way to take a fall.
This is where Bianca Belair should have won, because she ends up hitting her kiss of death, the KOD. The KOD, and she gets no count out of this because the ref still bumped. And then Shafir and Duke come in, And Belair successfully managed to dispose of them, at least the first time around. But then she gets in the Kirifuda clutch. And this is where she reverses it into the vertical suplex again. Fucking beautiful.
Yep.
And she goes up top, and Duke comes up to stop her or to distract her. She kicks Duke off of the apron into Shafir, so they're laid out. And she goes for a 450. And Shayna dodges out of the way, locks in the Kirifuda clutch.
Yeah.
Again, the Shayna lock, the Baszler lock. And Bianca Belair almost successfully fights out of this twice.
Mm-hmm.
Stands up twice, but falls right back down. And eventually passes out.
And that was the drama in the story right there. That was
what a match, man.
Oh, it was just a clinic, like I said, from start to finish. And what a way for her to end like an undefeated streak, though. Because if you're gonna like end it on anything like that, it might as well be a championship match.
And I don't think Duke and Shafir coming out to help Baszler hurts Baszler. She's a heel. Fuck it. Her streak before she had them by her side stands on its own.
Yeah.
So
she more and more.
This is just a different character.
More and more to me, she's becoming off as a woman's version of Samoa Joe.
Well, she knows she can do it, but she can do it a lot more easily with help. So why not? Because she's a heel.
Yeah.
This doesn't hurt her. This helps Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Because they made her look extremely strong in this match.
Oh yeah.
And as soon as Baszler gets called up and leaves the title behind, I can see Bianca Belair swooping in and taking it up in like a 6-woman six-pack challenge or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this puts her in the main event. What did you think about this match and the ending?
I mean, I like the ending. The fact that she got up twice, and then the third time falls down and passes out. She doesn't give up. She passes out. She's out of it. She could have tapped several times. The ref bump, it was great to see the first, like you said, the first female ref bump. I thought it could have been a little different with the outside interference, though. I mean, it's a cheap win. It's a heel win. I get it. But the fact that, though, she fought off all three really does say something about her, even though she didn't win the title, but it's coming soon to her, I believe. I believe she will be the next person to take the NXT Women's Championship, not tonight.
I think that the outside interference spot could possibly be something that is very like a substitute for what should have happened or was supposed to happen. Because if you notice at the end of the match when they're leaving, Marina Shafir has got some new ring gear. She's got a protective piece over her face, possibly for a broken nose or a broken orbital bone.
Yes.
So my guess is she probably wasn't going to be allowed to take any significant bumps. So that might have changed what the story of the interference was supposed to be. But otherwise, I think this is just a new character. Up until the first loss to Kairi Sane, where she lost the title, not the first loss, but the loss where Baszler lost the title, she was a dominant champion, and to get it back, she needed help, and now she's using that help. This is just a different heel character.
Yeah.
She's already proven herself, so now she's just taking the easier route because she knows about it. She knows she can use it to her advantage. Why the hell not? Even if she can do it on her own, why wouldn't she take the easy way out?
The MMA horsewomen stick together.
There you go.
Yeah.
So up next, we've got the main event. We've got Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. And this match was fucking great, too.
Oh, yes. It was pretty much everything I was hoping for. We got to see a lot of Ciampa pretty much. Ciampa stole the show for me. He really did. He actually did more spots in this match than I was actually expecting. And frankly, I've never seen anybody, like, spit water like that since, like, it's Triple H.
But also, man, he tore apart Aleister Black's left knee.
Mm-hmm.
For a guy that walks around with a brace on his right knee, he tore apart Aleister Black's left knee. There was a spot toward the beginning where he both ran Aleister Black's left knee into the steps. He threw it, like the first one he did, he swung it out of a kick into the ring steps. Then he runs him into the ring steps. Then he suplexes his legs into the ring steps.
Yeah.
Like, he had a target that he was going after.
Can't deliver the black mass if you don't have a leg.
If you don't have a leg to stand on. And that's not true. He delivers it, but he wasn't able to get into the cover on time. But we'll break down the match because here's another one I'm probably going to break some shit down for. But first, let's get your thoughts on it, Colin.
Overall, it was my second favorite match of the night. I mean, you can't beat Gargano and Ricochet, though. Sorry, guys. Sorry, dudes. But, no, I thought it was a fantastic match. And, yes, the knee of Aleister Black just getting ripped apart. True heel fashion, true technical move. You take out, you got a tall building. You got to take out the ground floor. Black coming back, making his comeback. He just fell a little bit short. Unfortunately, this is when my predictions went south for me for the evening. This is my, downfall of the night. So I was unhappy with the ending of the match, but overall, I enjoyed it very much.
That was me too. I was actually saying for Black because everybody else in our NXT team was saying Ciampa.
Yes, I was hoping for Aleister to regain and then Ciampa to actually make his way to the main roster, just unannounced.
I thought it was just going to be Ciampa was going to drop the belt and then Gargano was going to have a belt and it was going to either be a feud over that or just Gargano feeling even more victorious the fact that, Ciampa was no longer champion. But we see a different story at the end.
Yeah.
So
my thoughts were that somehow Ciampa would come out and get involved in the NA title match and get the belt for or help Gargano get the belt, and so Gargano would come out during the NXT Championship match just to yell at Ciampa like, I don't need your help, like what the hell are you doing, like I'm not your puppet, blah blah blah, and somehow unexpectedly without trying he helps Ciampa retain.
That would have made sense too.
And then you've got more questions at the end of the night in different ways than you did at the end of this. But I'll get to that because I do want to break some of this match down.
Absolutely.
Because, like I said, Ciampa just put on a clinic when it came to Black's knee. He uses the ropes for this submission. He ties up Aleister Black's leg under the bottom rope and then back through the middle rope and then pulls on him so that his leg wrenches with the rope. Beautiful.
Yes.
He uses all the count that he can, and then he takes a running knee into Aleister Black's leg that's trapped in the ropes, and his ankle just bends sickeningly.
Yes.
Oh my God, this match. And then on the outside, we see Black. This is where Black kicks the water out of Ciampa. Ciampa finds a bottle of water, very Rey Mysterio-like from SmackDown the other night.
Yes.
And he takes a couple of sips of water, and then Black catches him with a kick that just.
Looks like he destroyed the bottle, too. If you look at the bottle, it's completely mangled.
Well, it is plastic, but there goes the spit take. And this actually comes into play later.
Yep.
Black ends up kicking Ciampa off the top rope. Sends them both outside. They get back on the apron, and Ciampa he gets Aleister Black off the top rope, and he does Okay, so Aleister Black goes to the top rope, and Ciampa runs around, and Aleister Black's like, where's he at? But he's on the other side. Bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
Fist right. He grabs him for a cutter, and they call this, what is the Tower of London.
Yep, Nigel begins his little finisher.
A draping cutter onto the apron. Wow.
Nigel got really excited at that part, but the Tower of London's usually done to the inside of the ring, so seeing it done on an apron like that was just vicious looking.
So we get back in the ring, and they trade high knees, just those sick slapping sound spots. And now we see the breakdown. Now we're back to just fisticuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Where they trade some pins, they trade some strikes, and then Black kicks out of a fairy tale ending. And that's where it was. He was on the outside, threw Ciampa back in the ring, and then he slips on the water.
Yep.
So it throws him off a little bit. So when he gets back in, Ciampa hits him with a fairy tale ending, and even I called the kick out here. And then that's where Ciampa goes outside and exposes the floor, same as Gargano, same spot and everything. But he leaves Black too long to argue with the ref, and Black comes off with a Meteora onto the exposed floor, which is fine, as a move against Ciampa, but he lands his knee onto the exposed floor. So we get back in the ring, and Black hits the Black Mass, but he takes too long to crawl to the cover, and as soon as he goes to throw his arm over, Ciampa rolls over. So no cover. And then he goes for the Black Mask again. Ciampa ducks under it. He goes for a roll-up, only this time, instead of rolling him into a pin, he rolls his legs through the middle and top rope into a drape, hits him with the draping DDT, picks him up, hits him with the fairy tale ending near fall. Wow.
That's when everybody was just kind of stood up.
2 fairy tale endings near fall. So he goes for a 3rd fairy tale ending, hits it. Doesn't want to end it there. He goes for a 4th fairy tale ending. Black counters that into he goes for another Black Mask, but his leg gives out.
Yeah.
This is where we hit the 4th fairy tale ending. We get the pinfall. Ciampa retains. And as he goes up the ramp to celebrate, Johnny Gargano peeks his head out.
Yep.
Carrying the North American Championship. And they just kind of look at each other until Johnny's like, the reason I'm here is just to celebrate. And he holds up his championship. And Tommaso Ciampa holds up his championship.
Ciampa gets that smile across his face.
Like the puppet master where all his plans are coming to fruition. But at the same time, Johnny Gargano's looking at his belt and looking over at Ciampa's belt.
Yep, he just glances over at Goldie.
So we'll see where this goes. It's a bit of a cliffhanger, but I think it could have been better if we still didn't know anybody had definite intentions on. This just seemed like Gargano was just foreshadowing, yeah, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd rather still be in suspense, but whatever. Well, that brings us to the end of the main event. And around these parts, we rate NXT main events by the General's 5-star rating system. And as our special guest, Colin,
yep.
Out of 5 stars, how do you rate the main event of NXT TakeOver Phoenix?
I'm going to give it 4.25 stars.
Cool.
It was a solid match. It was hard hitting, everything we expected. I mean, why not?
With me, I'm definitely going to go with 4.5 because the build for this match was beautifully done, and then you get the match itself, which. Yes, there's a lot of story with the legs. That's something I've grown on with you since I've started doing this show. It's the fact that I look more forward to a story for a match than anything else. Because if you get a good story with a good injury and whatnot, and it sells throughout the match, that makes it even more tense. And with that knee, I'm thinking that's why he had like the the really cool knee guard on one knee and then on the other, just to almost to keep track of which leg was actually hurt. But at the same time, this match did not disappoint in any way, shape, or form. Was this good, Gargano and Ricochet? That's debatable. It wasn't. But for this match, for being a title match at a TakeOver, beautifully done. The fallout for it's going to be amazing because we're not even sure where Aleister Black goes from here. He may go to the main roster. That wouldn't shock me at all. We may see him at the Royal Rumble. Who knows? But for this match, and now Gargano and Ciampa both having the main singles titles, or the main singles titles in the company, it's going to be an interesting couple weeks. So,
I think I'm going to agree with you. 4.5 stars. It was a great match. For the match itself, I would have gone 4.25, but just the addition there at the end of bringing Johnny Gargano out and having them pose together without really explaining what's going on.
Well, see, I didn't get to see that part because I was driving home from work.
Oh.
So I got home from work, changed clothes, and then we got together for this. So I didn't get to see that part yet, but I might have to change to 4.5 after. I'll leave a comment and let you know. So
the thing is with that, it kind of harkened back a little bit to me to, I'm going to say a bad word for it, for WWE, Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero, when they were celebrating it in the ring with the following.
Oh, wow.
Following Benoit winning.
Probably a good thing they didn't do it in the ring. Probably a good thing they did it on the stage.
I think that's why they moved it to the stage versus in the ring. That would have been that would have probably built anticipation because then you would have had Gargano walking out there down that long ramp with the belt and then going into the ring. that would have built so much more suspense to that.
Intention, yeah.
Because
Yes.
you don't know what's going to happen.
Yes. But like even in the back of my mind, I already had Gargano coming out to celebrate with him with the belt. But I didn't have it in my intention that he would actually look over at Ciampa's belt at the same time, because Ciampa's looking away at the crowd again and smiling, and Gargano just has his eye on the belt for a second, and Ciampa looks back at Gargano, and Gargano's looking back at him again. So that told a little story right there too. It's like they are far from being done feuding, and that's gonna be almost like the Steen and Generico of NXT, I think.
So yeah, I give this 4.5 stars. I thought it was a fucking great match, great show, not a bad match. Not even Cassius Ohno versus Matt Riddle. Not a bad match.
That could
Surprisingly.
That could have easily destroyed the event, but they didn't. They put on a hell of a clinic in their own right with the strikes. So yes, I'm gonna give the devil his due on that one. I'm sad Cassius Ohno didn't pull out the victory, but Matt Riddle actually earned that one. So
let's just hope this is the end of Matt Riddle versus Cassius Ohno.
Oh, let's hope.
they need to start something new.
And on that note, Colin, do you have any plugs that you'd like to do? Twitter feed?
You can follow me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. If you're friends with these dudes on Facebook, you can find me through them. If not, not really. Not really huge on Twitter or anything like that. So I just
neither was I.
I only got Twitter for No DQ and for wrestling. I held off so long when it was huge to tweet about Raw and SmackDown. I just held off for so long.
It's just no.
When I got on the No DQ team, though, I kind of had to hashtag Team No DQ.
Yeah. I mean, I have one. I just don't use it. So yeah.
I use mine just for wrestling. That's where I keep all my wrestling spoilers.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you guys, though, for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for being, and we look forward to having you for a spot of NXT on Friday. Well, for us, it'll be Thursday.
And if you want your mug on this TV.
Yeah, speaking of Twitter, you can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up on Twitter, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find this gentleman on Twitter
at No DQ General, and also my group on Facebook, Armbar, all capital ARMBAR, exclamation point. And you look up any of us. I'm pretty sure I had Colin not too long ago too. So yeah, we're all in there. So, and I just made Stefan an administrator, so he can add you in as well.
So if you like the video, click like. If you like all our videos, click subscribe. Subscribe to No DQ. If you want to subscribe to my channel, Aftermatch Wrestling, that's where all of these videos go. Usually the day before, or at least the night before they go up on No DQ. So if you want to catch them early, you can subscribe there. Also, if I get 100 subscribers, I'm now at like 27, 28. It's big for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I get to 100, we're going to start doing some of these review videos live, just because I might actually have an audience at these wee hours of the morning. However, for the man with no nickname yet, Colin Andrew, for the General Jerry Slaughter, I am, of course, the Wizard of No DQ, Stefan Osborne, and we will see you NXT time.